Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. We are going to be doing a Medusa look, as you can see from the title. First, we're going in with this beautiful yellow shade from the Morphe 35B palette, and we're using a blending brush to blend that into the crease pretty heavily. Now we're taking a green shade, it's a lime green shade from that palette as well, and just really buffing that into the crease just a little bit lower than we did the yellow. Next, we're going to go in with a darker green shade, again from the Morphe palette, and really focus this color just in the very deep corner of the lid. I'm using a larger blending brush just to blend all these three colors together. These are not three colors you would typically have together, so it is important to use that big fluffy brush just to try and blend it all out. As you can see, I'm going back in with a little bit of yellow just to try and diffuse the colors, just to really blend them out more. I wanted two kind of duochrome shades on the lid. I'm first just going with the highlighter color and then with the green shade to kind of give that effect of both colors, the green and the gold. That's kind of the theme of this whole look. Next, I'm going in with the Inglot Gel Liner in number 77, which is essentially just a black, and I'm using a winged liner brush to create quite a large wing. As you can see, I'm drawing it out first, and then I'm going to fill it in. That's primarily how I always do my winged liner. I'll link another video below on more detailed on how to do winged liner. So this is what it should look like so far. I'm really just filling in my brows as I normally would, but I chose to use a much darker color. This is actually the eyeliner that I just used, so it is a little bit stronger. I'm trying to make that brow a little bit sharper, a little more aggressive, because this is Medusa. Of course she has to have some very fierce brows. So just fill them in as you normally would. I'm just using an eyeshadow brush. And then we're going to go ahead and pop on some lashes. I chose today to use these ones from Ardell. All of the products will be listed below in the down bar if you're interested. And I thought that these lashes went really well with the look, especially because they were nice and flared and they're very easy to put on. I absolutely love Ardell eyelashes. Next, I'm using a beauty blender to blend in my liquid foundation. This is the Makeup Forever HD foundation. You can use whatever foundation you typically want to use. This is just to make my face a little bit more even. So I'm just placing this all over my face. I am going to be going over it with some eyeshadows to really help with that Medusa look. So you don't need to do a huge amount of coverage, but this is the foundation that I chose for this particular look for today. Well, next, when I go in with your favorite concealer, I chose the Kat Von D Lock-It concealer. It's my absolute favorite right now, has been for a few months. And I'm just putting a hefty amount underneath my eyes just to kind of lighten those up and conceal any dark circles that I may have. Medusa can't be having those dark circles, you know? Using that same beauty blender that we did with the foundation, I'm now going to blend out that concealer. This is really going to help any creasing and really just make it look a lot more seamless, so there isn't quite a divide between the concealer and the foundation. To help with that creasing, we're going to go ahead and set the under eye area as well. I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I pretty much love using this combo of the Shade and Light palettes and the concealer. Love Kat Von D products. So I'm setting the under eye area, and next we're going to move on to the rest of the face. I wanted to do a little bit more on the under eye, so I took the yellow, same one from the Morphe palette that we used, and really just blended this, smoked out the bottom lash line. I know it's kind of weird to use these colors, but try and think of this as a smoky eye, just with some different colors, with some yellows and some greens. Just picking up that color and going back and forth on that lower lash line. I did the yellow, and then I also went in with just a little bit closer to the lash line with that green, and that's all the colors that I used in the lower lash line. So now that we're finished with the eyes and the face, now comes the fun part. So you're going to take a wig cap, make sure it's the wig cap that has these little holes in it, not the solid one, because that's what essentially makes the scales. Be very careful putting this on because you don't want to mess up your makeup, especially your lashes. It's going to feel kind of weird at first, but it's such a beautiful technique and it's really fun to do and easy. Okay. So now I'm just taking a flat brush from e.l.f. and I'm really pressing that eyeshadow into the skin. You want to really make sure you're pressing it, not going back and forth and swiping it, because that's what's going to really place the product in between all those little holes to create that effect of actual scales. So I'm starting with the light shade and then going darker. As you can see, I started with a light green and now I'm adding a darker green. And then lastly, I'm actually going to go over with a metallic paint and really give it that shiny gold effect. So this actually, the next shade is from Mehron. This is a metallic water-based paint. I just thought it gave such a beautiful iridescence to it, so I'm just adding this in with a stippling brush. The beautiful part is when you take it off, because you actually get to see all the little scales that you just made. This is so fun. You guys have to try it, even if you're not doing this whole look. Try it on something, try it on a mermaid. It really is a fun, easy thing to do. All right, let's take it off and see the results. Yes. Look at how fun that looks, you guys. And it's so easy. And you saw how quick and easy that was. Really just do whatever colors you want, whatever look you're doing, and let's move on with this tutorial. So you could stop here, or you could be super extra like me and do a little bit more. I had one more snake left over, so now I'm just taking some Aid Adhesive and just waiting till it gets tacky. And I chopped up that snake because we're going to make an illusion on our chest as if it's going in and out of our skin. So I chopped up one extra one, and let's go ahead and see how I placed them. You want to leave a little bit of space in between each of the parts of the snake because that's where we're going to do some painting. Again, just to create that illusion that the snake actually went under the skin and came back out. Make sure it's definitely adhesed. You can use spirit gum, Aid, latex, whatever you feel most comfortable with. If you're going to be going out, make sure it's something that's really, really sturdy. So I'm starting with a black water activated paint. This is from Mehron, and I'm just using a small detailed brush just to start to create that indention in the skin. This is where it looks like the snake is actually going underneath the skin. So you can see I'm having a little bit curved at the top there, and we're just going to continue that shade into the center of where the snake is. Next, I'm taking this red shade and I'm really just blending it down from the black. Again, this is just to create that illusion that it looks as though it's a little bit bloody, a little nasty going underneath the skin there. You can start to see that it really does look like it's going under the skin, and that's the illusion that we're going for. So just kind of keep playing with it until it's blended, until it looks the most realistic. I find that if you look in the mirror, you can actually see a little bit better the illusion, or if you look at a picture of it, than when you're actually creating it, if that helps. I just added some white body paint just to really bring those highlights up so it looks as though the skin is raised. And we're doing the same thing around all of the different ends of where the snakes are. Again, we'll start with that black shade and really just fade the red body paint into it. So again, it looks nasty and gross. And we'll just continue on with the same technique. I'm then using some black eyeshadow to help it blend even further. You might need to keep going back and doing this more and more just to diffuse the paint so it doesn't look like such stark straight lines. Just make sure that you continue to blend it until it looks the most realistic. Up till now, our focus is primarily on the shading, but we do need to do some highlighting as well. So I'm taking a white cream paint. This is from Mehron. This is Clown White. And I'm just placing the white at the very tops of all of the skin, just so it really does look as though the light is catching it and really showing that highlights. Because we have those dark circles where the snake is going into, those are trying to create that deep effect, whereas the light color here is creating that raised effect of the skin. So you want to focus this just on the tops, trying to remember where the light would hit the skin the most. Next, we're going to add some lipstick. I chose to go a very dark route. I went with a black shade. This is the Katy Perry collection that's at the drugstore. And then I'm going to add a little bit of eyeshadow on top of that just to give it a cool dimension. This is kind of an iridescent green shade. It's one of the shades we used on the face. So we're just changing it up just a little bit. Now I'm going to want a little bit more of those scales on my neck. I took that same wig cap and I tied it in the back so it was held there. You might need some help with this if you can't hold it yourself. And now we're going to go in and create the same patterns that we did on the face on the neck as well.